It is Sunday, October 18th, 2020, and this is an update on the Three Gorges Dam and current events in China. We have 4 pieces of information to cover today, including a look at the live stream and the water level at the dam. Next, courtesy of the Wall Street Journal, China warns U.S. it may detain Americans in response to prosecution of Chinese scholars. Also, courtesy of ABC News, Australian cotton, the latest casualty in trade tensions with China. We also have some new tweets. Let's hop into it. And a brief caveat before today's video. While researching for these reports, I come across information from various sources. Just because I decide to include a piece of information doesn't necessarily mean that I agree with it. I like to let you decide for yourself. Moving on. And first, let's have a look at the live stream at the dam. Saturday afternoon or Sunday morning China time, I was having a look at the live stream at the dam and noticed that the channel of water in the lower left-hand corner of the screen was missing. And by taking a look back at yesterday's footage, we can see that the channel of water was still there. Now let's see what it looks like after sunrise. Overnight, that channel of water receded rather quickly, but I have been a victim of flooding myself before and have seen how fast floodwaters can dissipate. I just thought that was worth passing along. Moving on. And the side angle camera is still down today. And now let's have a look at the water level at the dam. The current water level is 172.18 meters. The current inflow is not noted, and the current outflow sits at 17,300 cubic meters per second. It is worth noting that these numbers are released by the CCP. Over the past 24 hours, the water level at the dam has risen from 161.65 meters to 172.18 meters. Upstream at Kuntan, the water level has also risen in the past 24 hours. It was 174.83 meters and currently sits at 175.02 meters. And looking at the 3-month chart at Kuntan, we can see that in late August, the water level was about 192 meters. And this comes courtesy of the Wall Street Journal. China warns U.S. it may detain Americans in response to prosecutions of Chinese scholars. Chinese government officials are warning their American counterparts they may detain U.S. nationalists in China in response to the Justice Department's prosecution of Chinese military-affiliated scholars, according to people familiar with the matter. The Chinese officials have issued the warnings to U.S. government representatives repeatedly and through multiple channels, the people said, including through the U.S. Embassy in Beijing. The Chinese message, the people said, has been blunt. The U.S. should drop prosecutions of the Chinese scholars in American courts, or Americans in China might find themselves in violation of Chinese law. China started issuing the warning this summer after the U.S. began arresting a series of Chinese scientists who were visiting American universities to conduct research, and charged them with concealing from U.S. immigration authorities their active duty statuses with the People's Liberation Army, the people said. The arrests were a subject of a Wall Street Journal article that also reported U.S. allegations that Chinese diplomats were coordinating activities with the researchers, and described that as a factor in ordering China to close its Houston consulate in July and remove the remaining military scientists from the country. Chinese authorities have on occasion detained foreign nationals in moves seen by their governments as baseless or in some instances as diplomatic retaliation, a tactic that many in Washington policy circles have referred to as hostage diplomacy. China has denied U.S. citizens permission to exit from the country and arrested, charged, or sentenced Canadian, Australian, and Swedish citizens on what officials from those governments have said are bogus allegations. In a September travel advisory, the department recommended Americans avoid China travel for a number of reasons, including a warning that the Chinese government detains other countries' citizens to gain bargaining leverage over foreign governments. And this comes courtesy of ABC News. Australian cotton, the latest casualty in trade tensions with China. Australia's cotton industry is bracing for what could be a devastating blow as it becomes the latest casualty in the escalating trade tensions with China. Mills in China are being told to stop buying Australian cotton as speculation grows that a hefty tariff is about to be slapped on the trade. Government sources have told ABC the cotton industry could face tariffs as high as 40%. A sanction that could make trade with China unviable. Under China's current trade rules, the Chinese government determines how much cotton each mill can import through a quota system. But ABC understands spinning mills have been warned not to use Australian product or risk their quotas being slashed. Without the government endorsement, these mills could be forced to pay 40% more to buy Australian cotton. Trade Minister Simon Birmingham has confirmed he's aware of concerns China might be set to impose changes on the trade and is seeking more information from Australia's largest trading partner. Impeding the ability of producers to compete on a level playing field could constitute a potential breach of China's international undertakings, which would be taken very seriously by Australia. Obviously, we would prefer that our dialogue continues to enrich, but you can only resolve differences by actually having your hand out and being prepared to have that conversation, he said. The Australian industry has become increasingly nervous about the $800 million market, which typically accounts for 65% of the cotton grown nationwide. In a statement released today, Cotton Australia and the Cotton Shippers Association said the industry was trying to understand apparent changes to export conditions. Thank you for watching this video. If you're finding it informative, please consider giving the channel a subscribe. And our last piece of information is a series of interesting tweets. And I think that's a good place to wrap up today's video. I hope that you found it informative, and check back soon for more content.